What is up, Batman fans? I'm Tommy from ZD Comics, and welcome to my review of Season 1, Episode 6, The Spirit of the Goat of Gotham. So I'm going to start out with my non-spoiler review, and then of course I get into the spoilers a little bit later, but let's get off it right from the start. This episode was really good. I really enjoyed it. The final, scene of the episode was by far my favorite, probably by far one of my favorite scenes of the entire series. I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. The Spirit of Goat, the reason behind it, and the reason, the person who was kind of manipulating the two people to killing these firstborn sons of the rich people in Gotham was actually their whole motivation was really good, and it made so much sense. So basically, let me just say, without giving us any spoilers, this episode was really good. It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought for some reason it was going to be like a Scarecrow spinoff or like a silly Scarecrow type scene, but it really wasn't. This episode had nothing to do with that. It's just because the person with the mask was actually, it was kind of like a goat mask. You could tell there was horns. You probably didn't notice in the preview, but it had nothing to do with Scarecrow. So if you're looking forward to that, then, well, don't. I mean, you should probably be able to tell by, the Spirit of the Goat. That's the title of the episode. It doesn't really make sense. So, non-spoiler review, 8.5 out of 10. Great episode, but now I'm going to get into the spoilers, so go watch the episode, come back to this part of my review. So, this episode starts out as a flashback with Detective Bullock and his old partner, who we will see later in the episode, and basically, they track down the first Spirit of the Goat, and he basically, the 1% of Gotham was, the richest part of Gotham. The Spirit of the Goat would take the richest family from Gotham, take their firstborn daughter, or daughter, or really anybody, and literally kill them. But they killed them in a very, special way. They would kind of hang them up in an X. I think there's a name for that. I don't know about it. But basically, they would hang them up in an X and then feed them this drink, which would eventually just kill them. So I don't know if it was painful or not, but it was definitely odd and very spiritual. So the Spirit of the Goat, spiritual or everything, would basically murder the firstborn daughter of the rich people in Gotham. And what we saw from that is that the previous day, there is a second person of the Spirit of the Goat, and now what's confusing about that is that there's a little bit of a metaphor that happens is when the person, kills the firstborn son or daughter, they put a penny inside of their head and stitch it up. So basically that was only something that the first person did, so obviously the second Spirit of the Goat would have to have known about that, so there's kind of a mystery there. And really what was awesome is that Edward Enigma got a big part in this episode, not that big, but bigger than anything else. I mean, we have rarely seen him. He's kind of been in little tidbits for the past 5 episodes, but in this episode, we get to see him a lot. He kind of has a crush on Chrissy Kringle, which is a funny name, by the way, and he's awesome. I mean, it's definitely the way I would imagine the Riddler. He's by far the weirdest, definitely weirder than the Penguin. So basically, he's also tries to solve the mystery. He does help a lot. He's very, smart, and I think they're pushing the Riddler thing too much. I mean, the scene where he was holding up the coffee cup with the question mark, I'm like, dude, come on. You flashed to the coffee cup scene twice. You don't need to keep on expressing that he has something to do with Riddlers and question marks. It's kind of annoying, but I can get used to it. I really don't care. But really what happens is that when Detective Bullock captures the second Spirit of the Goat, he finds out that what he would do with his hands is that they would clench. And he saw the same thing with the man's daughter, the first murderer there. He would do the same thing. So he traced it back to the therapist who was actually taking care of not only the daughter's father who was murdered, but also the two Spirit of the Goats. So basically, Detective Bullock mainly focusing on him. Gordon has his own kind of story going on. Basically, Detective Bullock finds this out, ends up shooting the therapist without killing her. She ends up shooting his leg, not on accident. He probably would have killed her if he had the chance to. But basically, she gets brought in, and that's the end of that. But her motivation, which was the best, she basically, being a therapist, she said that she was hurting Gotham to make it better. And basically, she was, destroying the daughters and the sons of the really high and powerful people in Gotham, because that's what everybody wanted, The people who were, the two goats, deep down inside, they wanted to destroy the rich because they wanted to be rich, So that's basically her motivation. I thought that made lots of sense, and it really fit well with Gotham and the theme of Gotham so far for this series. So basically, I want to get into my favorite part about the series so far. I kind of went rough on the last episode. You guys yelled at me. But basically, my favorite part is the Falcone and Maroni storyline with Penguin, Fish Mooney. And that kind of comes to a peak right now. We're kind of at that, peak where everything is sort of changing, because we find out that Penguin reveals himself, first off, that he is alive. And the scene that happens at the end, which was by far my favorite scene of probably the whole series, is that Gordon finally gets arrested because someone witnessed the murder. Basically, the MCU's like, you know what, we want to take you down. Of course, we do know that Montoya has a personal thing with Gordon because, you know, she had that thing with Barbara and everything. So she obviously had personal motivation to take down Gordon. And when she does, she goes in. She, of course, brings up Detective Bullock for being an accomplice. So basically, they're both getting arrested, and then all of a sudden, Penguin comes in through the doors, and everyone's like, what the hell? How the hell is he alive? So that's how the episode ends, and the preview for the next episode is all about Falcone, Maroni, Fish Mooney. We got to see Gordon with a huge rifle, and it was really awesome. Things are getting heated up. There's a war going on. Penguin has this masterful scheme behind his sleeve and everything, so it's really awesome. I'm excited to see that. And it seems from this episode and for the preview for the next episode that the mid-season finale is probably going to have to do with this, you know, crime boss family and everything. Falcone and Maroni going head-to-head. Fish Mooney and Penguin probably going head-to-head as well. And, of course, Gordon and Fish Mooney's little girl that she was playing with will also be involved in that. So it's really awesome. So far, this episode was pretty good, but my favorite part was the ending. Without the ending, I probably would have gave it like an 8 out of 10 instead of an 8.5 out of 10. That score definitely got bumped up because of that scene. But anyway, that's my review. What is your review down below? And don't forget to click that like button. It really helps out my channel. I also will be reviewing Flash, Gotham, and Walking Dead this week, so go check that out. Anyway, I'm Tommy from ZD Comics, and I would like you to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.
Ready, aim, fire.